Hello, YouTube fans, here again, and I figured why not, when it comes to Steven Spielberg, this one. It inspired me after doing Raiders because this is the one where a lot of people would say is this film being a John Hooper film or a Steven Spielberg film. And this is the one where I wouldn't say good things about Steven Spielberg. There's always been a debate that Steven Spielberg took this film, took it from Tony Parr and made it his own. And then there's always been that debate that was a Steven Spielberg and Tony Parr produce it. And there's always been that argument. Now, I'm not going to talk about the bad luck of the film, with all the deaths of the film, of actors and actresses and blah, blah, blah. But we leave that for maybe another day of the sequels. That being the classic, the original Poltergeist. That's right, Poltergeist. But it's not been funny this one because Steven Spielberg would never allow a special edition. I don't know why. Even on the anniversary, he did a special edition. But whether John Hooper or Steven Spielberg did it, I still think it's a dud. I think it's a dud. As we know, John Hooper is well-known director for doing films, let's say like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Before he did this, he did Fun House, did a lot of good films. And he had a part of the film Poltergeist. And roughly at the time, Steven Spielberg had the big success, saying there, E.T. And believe it or not, he was going to have two Barrymore asked the role of Carol Ann. But instead, we all know it went to Everall Walk. Everall Walk was popular at the time for the TV comedy show Happy Days. It was on the last season of Happy Days, and I think Steven Spielberg thought, yeah, this two adorable little girl, I think at the time was 6, will have her as the character Carol Ann. And at the time, the actress who played the mother was well known for being 2 years before this, was in a well-known comedy called Stir Taser. Which, funny enough, the actor that played the dad was also in Stir Taser, even though they never both met. And they got the roles, the mother and the father, and the rest is history. So I'm going to go with Poltergeist. I love the opening. You got the American anthem, do 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 do, and the TV thing is. Now, this is one where if you watch it, you think nowadays you would never see that, because of epilepsy and all that. But don't forget, different era, different time. But then the dog's acting funny, the little derby in Thailand is talking to the TV. Well-known tacit scene where she puts both her hands on the TV. And then you got that beautiful store. I won't do the rest, but I'll kill it. And one thing I love about Poltergeist is you have that comedy feel, you have that family feel. It's not at all exactly how it was going to be. Originally, it was going to be a lot darker. The mother and father weren't going to get along. There's lots of bad language in it. And I'm happy it got stopped. We didn't need all that. And yes, I know what happened to the actress that was the older sister. Very sad story. Maybe for another day. Very sad. But I'm on about the film itself, not the bad luck and all the deaths of the actors and actresses. You can look that up anywhere. And so basically, a lot of strange things are happening in the house. Like I say, the little girl's talking to the TV. I also remember the bit where the little bird dies and she says, Cheeky, says, oh shit, Cheeky, could you pick the day when they go back to school? So I always found a few laughs there. So it does have its art on its sleeve. And I remember the scene where the little lad stared off the tea and the dad says it out 10 times, doesn't happen. But I always remember the bit of the TV, goes mad, that laser, the hand has to get her. And the light fires out. She says that classic line, they're here. I love it. I mean, I love Poltergeist. It's very sad. It's one of these now because I know the actress Everall Walk makes you rest. Really makes me cry. Such a lovely, adorable little girl. Very sad. You can look at the story of her fate. Very sad. And like I say, a lot of strange things are happening. We all remember the bit where the mother's moaning at the door and you got all the chairs stuck up. There is a bit where I do remember there is a scene where you can see it's been cut because there's supposed to be a scene where the mother's talking about imagination, Thailand's being moved across the room and suddenly jumps to another scene where they're talking to the neighbours. Now, for anyone that wondered what the hell happened there was a scene, it could be right and wrong, I think it was Pizza Hut or Johnny Moore Pizzas, one or the other. There's a bit where the dad's talking about pizza, it could be Pizza Hut or another pizza company. They couldn't have the rights to use that name, so they had to cut the scene, copyright and everything, and that's why you get the awkward cut for people that never knew that. I told this is a bit where Charlie gets kidnapped, the tea's trying to eat the boy, the father saves the day, they're looking for him, you hear that girl's voice, Charlie, help me, mummy, help me. Now, for anyone who doesn't know this was actually inspired by an episode of the Twilight Zone. There's a story of the Twilight Zone called Little Dirk Tapped in the Wall. This was what it does, inspired Steven Spielberg, or it could have been John Hooper, one or the other, to use the idea for Poltergeist. And they get these people, they're like spiritist people. Let's not forget the scene where the guy rips his face off and you find out it's the house messing with him. I love that scene. And then you get to Tansy, the little woman, the little old lady. I always love her. That's like that little dirty voice. And she tells them what's going to stare you, and the mother has to rope to die and save Tara. I always remember that. I remember the skeleton's head, the damn good special effects, our missile. And they've managed to get the little dirt from the light. Now, before all that, I always remember the bit where the ghost is fucking with them, and the bit where the mother says she went through my soul. That always makes me cry. And it's Poltergeist is still a good film. I have a soft heart for it, but it still makes me cry because we all know Everett Wook is sadly no longer with us. May she rest. So it's very hard to watch now, knowing the fate of the actress being Everett Wook. Yes, I know it's a film, but it's a hard one. And the acting in this, the mother, the father, there's not one weak acting in this. Not one. You want to see wooden acting? What's the shitty fucking remake? That's a bad film. What's the third one? That's a bad film. This, I've no faults with it. None. So, the save Tyler the riff, the ready to move out. And this is one bit I do love the story because you find out how the house was the way it was with the poltergeists and everything. It turned out the father's boss, another actor that's been on a lot of things, he moved to Tavestones, but he kept the bodies there and built houses on it. And that I could buy into it. Deed, money, saving that. So that's what he did. He moved to Tavestones, but he kept the bodies down there, and that's what tossed it all. And I like that idea. I thought it was bitty tough, unique. It's not your typical haunted house film. So what happens is they think it's going to be a happy ending. Let's not forget that's that Tester Joe, very cheapy Joe. It comes alive. It's attacking the kid, the little lad. I love the bit where he's attacking back. I hate you. I hate you. I love the bit where the door opens up. And I do remember they used a double house, imitated, moved the way around. Very similar to what they did in films that say, that's the word I'm going to cited. Let's say like The Fly or the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Very similar idea where the built house moves way round. I do know originally there was going to be a sexual assault on the mum. I do remember hearing about that, but happy to say that got stopped. Didn't need to see that. So instead, you get a try to attack the mum. I love the bit where she's running to the stairs on the corridor. It's hard to explain. I could saw the film, but I don't want Steven Spielberg to sue me. I know it wouldn't happen now because John Hooper's no longer with us. But that's the thing I want, to get a letter from Steven Spielberg. But if I could saw it, I would. But there's a bit when the mum's going to the corridor and it just stretches like that. And then she runs again and it stretches like that. And she manages to get the daughter. But before all that, there is a debate. There's a scene where she falls in this muddy water and there's all these skull heads. I always wondered whether that was inspired one day before with Raiders of the Lost Ark. But I have heard rumours, whether it's true or not, they used real dead bodies, real corpses when they did that scene. That's why they said the film had bad luck. Whether you believe that, different story. But I just love the bits. He says to the kid again, they get out of the house. I know the father has a mental break. He says, "You built the house, but you moved the tombstones, but you stepped them down. Why? Why? Why?" I just love that. You can buy into it. That's what I mean. Good acting. You're never going to see that, especially in the fucking remake with the Wooden family. But the freaky family, you like them. They're your typical American family. I'm trying to get outside of this film. They're your typical American family, and you feel for them. And the tie off, they're going to this cheap looking motel. You think it's going to end there, then it cuts, the father pushes the TV out the way, ends, the film pans out, and you got that take song again. La 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 la. I won't do the rest. But Poltergeist, it's always been a dud, and yes, when it was being made, sadly to say, the actress that played the older sister brutally got beaten by a boyfriend who was a scumbag. He really pisses me off. He's out now. He's a scumbag, chicken shit bag. He battered her. And when they was going to film the Tacit series V, which I remember reviewing, V the mini series, there was a character called Robin, and the older sister was going to play that character. Sadly to say, it never got to be because she was beaten, and she sadly lost her life because of a scumbag boyfriend, which I always thought was pretty sad. And yes, when Poltergeist 2 got made, there was a lot of deaths, including when they did the third one, the sad death of Everall Walk. Yeah, I thought I'd blown that up. And they always said the film was bad luck of all these deaths, but to me, people die all the time. It's not me being morbid, it's not me being gruesome, it's me being realistic. People die all the time. But it's the fact that this all went on when the films were being made. But nevertheless, I still love Poltergeist. I still think it's a damn good film. I think it's a classic. It came out the same year when E.T. come out. And like I say, for people who may not know this, Drew Barrymore was going to get the role as Tara Lamb, but instead it got different to Everall Luck, which is she made that film, and may she rest in peace. A damn good lung actress. Very sad. We lost her at a young age. She was a very good, bonny little girl. And at the end of the day, I like the actors, I like the humour, I like the horror feel. It's one of these, a lot of people always say today, is it a John Hooper film or is it Steven Spielberg? I also feel with this love leg, there's a bit where the mother shouts out, "Stephen!" And there's other bits where they see the word Stephen a lot in this film. So it's one of these, did Steven Spielberg do it? Was it John Hooper? I don't give a shit. As I always said this, if John Hooper had a big soul in it, Steven Spielberg would do the right thing and admit it. If he didn't, that's fair enough. It's John Hooper is sadly no longer with us at all. He did this damn good films like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Funhouse, Life Force. The list goes on. The list goes on. But I do think he did a good part in this Steven Spielberg. Yes, I know he didn't do that one, but I'm going to review it because I think it's a good one, except for that one. I think it's a piece of shit. But this is the best of them all. Poltergeist. I think it's a good one. So fuck it. A 9-star rating from me. That's what I do it. I do it a 9-star rating because I do think it's a good one. I think it's the best haunted house film. Compared to some haunted house films, what I do like the original Ranner film, or Exodus, or The Entity, this is also a good one. Poltergeist, I think it's a good one, and it says in the original trailer, it knows what scares you. So into them, be smart, be safe. See you later.